Hey everybody, welcome back to Chaos Cabin. Today I've got an interesting video for you. I'm going to try and build a tiny underwater proof of concept base. Proof of concept because it's going to be too small to actually use for anything, and it'll be built out of wood, but I mostly just want to see, can it be done? But before we get into that, please throw me a like and drop me a comment if you can. It won't cost you anything, but it will help me out a lot. Alright, the first thing to do is figure out where I'm going to put this thing. I think I'm going to go right here in the center of this river. It's deep enough that it will cover the top of the base, so you won't see it underwater. Now, the question to be answered here is, can I build it underwater? And can I drain the water out of it? And what's the best way to do that? I think I've got it figured out, so let's go. I'll place these blocks in the center here and go out until I figure out where I need to start digging to put the next block. I think I'm just going to go about one more block on this side and one more block over here on the other side. That puts it at, I believe, 5 blocks wide. And then I'm going to make it a little longer so it's rectangular shaped, but it's going to be a small base. This is just going to have a small footprint because, again, I'm just trying to find out if this is even possible. Don't forget to go to the surface and breathe. Remember from our bridge build video, digging underwater leaves holes in the surface of the water. That goes away after a short period of time. Now here I'm just putting a column up to mark this spot because since it is an underwater build, once I leave the water I can't find it again. I'll get the floor laid in here, and then I'll work on the walls. And what I'll do is I'll bring the walls up to the height that they extend out of the water. And once I've done that, I will attempt to get the water out of the structure. Alright, the floor is in. Now I'll start with the walls. I think it's interesting how it looks like it's raining underwater. Look at the spray coming down from the top of the water there. Oh, stick around because in just a little bit we're going to find out if guns work underwater. Well, it's another beautiful apocalyptic sunset. Look at the sunlight dancing off that water. Beautiful. Building underwater is strange because not only are you working in 3 dimensions, instead of forward, backward, left, and right, you're also going up and down. On top of that, you've got the buoyancy issue where you're not zero buoyancy. You tend to rise in some cases, and once you get deeper, you fall for some reason. But in addition to that, You also have the current that's constantly trying to pull you in one direction. And so then you add to that the problem of training your mind to aim your controller in the direction you want to move with the right stick and then moving with the left stick. It's natural to be looking up at my project and need to move towards it, but if I'm looking up at it and then I attempt to move towards it, I just rise to the surface. So it's hard to get all that juggled out in your mind. Well, the wall is almost done. I just need to fill in that little part you see there, but for now I need to get some stairs on there so that I can get up to the top and over onto the inside. And of course I'll need stairs on the inside to get back out. Alright, that looks good. Now I'm going to use a bucket to get the water out of this, what's essentially a big box. Well, that's not really going to work until I fill those blocks in, is it? And now it's nighttime. Well, looks pretty quiet. I'm going to keep working. Okay, let me see if I can get back out of this thing. No, I have nothing to push against or jump off of, so I can't get out. I'm gonna have to put some stairs in here. There we go. That's better. That's still not going to work. Let me go fix that. I seem to be suffering from a bad case of dumbass-itis today. Oh, that sounds too close. Let me see what's going on up here. Well, I hear them, but I don't see them yet, although they sound close. I wonder... Oh, crap. I'll bet they're in the water. Oh, shh. Well, let's rock. Crap. They definitely have home court advantage. Well, maybe they won't see me underwater. They see me underwater. And of course I'm stunned. Why wouldn't I be stunned? Everything else is going so well. Okay, I'm gonna perform a tactical repositioning, but don't go away. We'll finish this tomorrow. Well, I made a bunch of extra buckets, so now I'm ready to go see if we can't drain the swamp or get all the water out of this box out here. Of course, it looks like I've got a little cleanup to do from last night. It looks like most of the bodies from last night have despawned, unfortunately. Just a little quick repair here and I'm good, then I'll start draining this. Alright, one quick once over. It would be a disaster to have a broken block that I didn't know about and me trying to drain this. Okay, a quick note about this process. You got to be at the right height and the right angle. You can't be too far above the water or you can't reach the water, but neither can you be standing in the water, because then you typically can't pick any up. So, you got to find the right angle and the right height. I will just fill all these buckets up, which, by the way, I made specifically for this job. I make those in the forge, and then I'll transfer them to someplace else. I made this pool up on the hill here because I knew I was going to have this excess water. I'm just guessing. I haven't done the math or anything, but I think I'm going to have more water than will fit in this pool. So I'll have to dump it somewhere else. I don't really expect you to watch me move all this water. I'll tell you what, I'll get the rest of the water out of that base and then we'll reconvene and go on to the next step. Alright, well that's the last of it, and it does seem to be keeping the water out, so that's good thus far. However, this is hardly a base underwater, this is a base in the water with an open top, so let's fix that. The first thing I'll do is knock these stairs out. That'll give me room to work and put a layer of, well, ceiling, for now, in here. I'll put this ceiling in one block below the water line, except right here where the entrance slash exit is. That'll have to be above the water line, obviously. Alright, this is starting to come together. I hope this is starting to make some sense. Let me fill this in, and then we'll take another look at it. I'll put these railings up here so I don't fall into the water when I come up this ladder. And now I'll just remove this top layer of blocks and the base will be underwater. And with any luck, it will stay dry. Again, I have never done this. Okay, there it is, and it looks pretty good. It seems to be staying dry. All you can see is this little turret coming up out of the water. Down in here, it's as cozy as any cabin. It's a little weird because it doesn't have windows, but you couldn't put windows in here for the same reason submarines don't have screen doors. Now that makes it feel a lot more like home. Now let's take a quick look of this place from the shore, and then we'll look at it from below the waterline. Well, that's nothing fancy, but it looks good. Let's take a look at it from below the surface and answer the age-old question, will a torch work underwater in 7 Days to Die, Console Edition? And the answer is, no it does not. I was kind of hoping that since a gun worked underwater so well, maybe a torch would too, and I could put one right here by the steps and you can see it glowing from the shore, but it doesn't work that way. Okay, so what is something like this good for? Well, to be honest, I don't know. If it was made out of concrete, I'm pretty sure you could live through the night. You'd have to repair it extensively the next day. But there's no way to fight the undead. You can't put in windows or a typical melee base floor, or it would just be flooded with water. I think you could expand on this and make a base that is above water by 1 block, suspended on stilts made of concrete, and then have an iron grate floor so you could fire down at the zombies that congregate at the bottom of the water. And then in the morning you could go down and harvest. I may try something like that later, but this was just a proof of concept. I'd always wondered if it would work, and it looks like it does. So, if you'd like to see me try and spend a horde night in here, leave a comment. Let me know. And as always, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you can. It really helps the algorithm and makes the channel better. Alright friends, I will see you next time. I'm out.